Okay, for this first tutorial on basic tools, this is only for laser cutting and laser engraving. Please keep it in mind. So in this first tutorial, we are going to explore the most basic tools on how to create something with the laser cutter. So as part of the routine, you will always do this when you start a project. Click on create, click on document, make a put a document name. In this case, it's gonna be basic tools. One basic tools, then I'll click on create, and remember it takes some 5 seconds while it sets everything up, and you can start. As a routine, first things first, you will select one plane in which you would like to draw. It doesn't really matter which one, you just need to select one and that's it. For this tutorial, I'm going to do it on front, and because I'm doing it on front, I'm going to hide the right, the top, and the origin, so it's not going to bother me. And then using the camera controls over here, I'm going to click on front so I can see the normal view of my front. This is a laser cutting and engraving tutorial, so I will click on sketch to create a two-dimensional design, and it will ask me where would I like to draw. I would like to draw on the on front plane, so I will click on front, and now I have access to all of the tools that I need in order to start drawing. So really quickly, I will just have a look at the most basic tools. I will explain how to use them, and then I'm going to make a very basic drawing so you can use the same knowledge here, right? Remember that when you click on the scroll button of your mouse and move, click and drag on the scroll button, you can pan. So I'm going to be drawing something here, and then the final drawing, I'll make it somewhere here. Even if I am outside of the sketch 1 window, I can draw it, no problem. So with line, make sure that you select the tool. Now it is selected, and you should not click and drag, just click and move. Okay, so I'm gonna click anywhere, and then I'm gonna move. If you see that symbol that is next to the pointer that looks like a vertical line, it means that the line is vertical. If you do it in this direction, it means that the line is horizontal. And additionally, the numbers that you see are the measurement, is a measurement. I am working with OnShape in millimeters. So in this case, it's 60 millimeters. But if you want to make sure about that, I will just create a line. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it here. And because it's not going to stop following me, I am not clicking and dragging. I am going to press escape on the keyboard of my laptop, and it will stop following me. So the next bit I want you to explain is with this line, for example, you can click on dimension, the tool that is over here. If you don't see it, click on the three dots and change the zoom of the window. Sometimes you need to zoom out in there to see the tool. So you click on here, click on whatever entity you want to dimension, just click. I am not clicking and dragging, just click once. And then you select the measurement. In this case, you click, move, click again. In this case, it's 77, I don't know, millimeters in this case. You can also write 7 centimeters if you want. And when you press enter, it becomes 70 because it's 70 millimeters, right? If you want to change this measurement, then you will double click on this and change it again. I can put 80 millimeters now, and it will change to 80. Okay? Now, when you're creating entities, say I'm going to create another line, and I want to connect it to the first line, I need to make sure that the line changes its color. So if it is orange now, it's because the line will be connected here. Or if I move and approach to this dot, to this node, you can see it's orange and with an orange box on the side. It's because when I click here, that line will be attached to that node or to that point. Now, it changed the tool. That sometimes happens. It shouldn't happen again. I'm going to click on a line, click on the node and move. So I can make another line here, make another line here, and that's it. I want to show you that with dimension, if you click on one entity and then you move, it's giving me the same dimension. That's not what I want to do. I want to change the angle. So if I click here one time, click here the second time, it will allow me to say the angle that I want. So say I want 135 degrees between those two entities. That's it. I can control it that way. And then I want to control the angle between this one and this one. It should be 90. I'm gonna make it 100. It is giving me an error and it tells me that a sketch could not be solved because if you see this little square, it says that it has to be perpendicular. When I created the entities, I'm going to do it here on the side so you can see it. If this one is horizontal and then I make the next one vertical, you can see the same symbol on the side. Once you have created lines that are related somehow with a symbol like this, you need to delete the symbol or you need to delete that relationship, remove that relationship so it can work. So remember, it is 90 because it's perpendicular. If I click on the little square and then I press delete on the keyboard, now I would remove the relationship, therefore it would be able to work. Okay, that's something that could happen to you many times. Next step I want to show you is with rectangles. Let's use the easiest way to make a rectangle, which is a corner rectangle. Click number 1 will be the initial corner. Now this is following me, but I am not clicking and dragging. Second click is over here, and I will create a rectangle just the same way that you did it. If I dimension this one, I'm going to say this is 55. Then I can dimension this one. I'm going to say this is 35. I do not need to dimension this one because if I give, this is 35 because it is a rectangle. If I give a different number, something like 40, then I will have an error because it cannot be 35 here and 40 here, all right? So make sure that you do not over dimension the entity. Also, you don't need to say 35 because for the software already understands that it's 35 on one side. That's with rectangles. If you want to make circles, circles start with a point in the middle of the circle, which is the center. I click once, and then when I move, I'm creating the circle. I click twice to create the circle, and I will simply dimension, click here, and I can give the diameter of the circle. If my diameter is 45, for example, then it will expand like this. You can also, with dimension, control the distance. So I can say, okay, the distance between the center of the circle and this node, it's going to be 0, for example, if I want to connect them. So if it is 0, bam, it moves to so they are both aligned, right? So you can, with dimension is a very powerful tool that will allow you to move things around. I will proceed to make something here, and that's going to be using the tools that I just showed you. You are going to be able to make that. So let's do this really quickly. I would like you to use only 3-point arches. 3-point arches are these ones, the first one on the list. 3-point arch requires you to click first time on the initial point, second time on the end point, and then the third click will allow you to create the actual arc, all right? That's a pretty simple tool to use. Polygons, we're not going to go through polygons in this lesson. So I'm going to create something in here, and that's going to be the challenge that you will have to face for this lesson. Okay, and now I have used some of the tools that I showed you how to use on this side, and I created the development of the model of a little house, right? So what I want you to understand is that this section over here, it's like a cube. It's not a cube, it's a prism, but it is the development of it. Once you cut all the bits in the laser cutter, then you can assemble it and it will look like a cube. And this section over here would be the roof. I am making a triangular little cute roof that looks like this. So this is the side, and then it's going to be straight on the house, something like this. It's going to be straight on the house, but the triangle is on the side. So it looks like this, both sides, and this is the top of the house. So we can continue with the same model in the next practice. So you can take a screenshot of this one so you can see it properly. All the measurements are here. Please try to reproduce the same model.